probability sample. This is the presentation topic. I am the student of BS. Today I will tell you about probability sampling. What is this probability sampling? Probability sampling is based on the fact that every member of population has known an equal chance of being selected. This method means is based on theory. For example, flip coin, there are 50-50% chance of getting head or tail. It is still 50-50. In that case, still want to investigate the coin. It is coming up again head and tail. The bottom line of random selection is that equal probability and the independence of events. Simple random sampling. It's the first type of probability sample. Simple random sampling is a technique in which every member of population has an equal chance of being selected. The selection of items completely depends on chance and randomness, and this technique is also known as method of chance. Let us assume that we have this population which represents broad category of population of different age, sex, nationality, and if we apply simple random technique, we will select sample from this population based on randomness and by chance. The logic behind choosing the simple random technique is still based on the selection process. The next type of systematic sampling of the probability sample. This is the second type of probability sample. The first element is selected randomly from the list or from the sequential files, and then every element is selected. Let's assume again that we have the population which again represents broad category of people, and if we apply this technique or systematic sampling, we will select sample from this on the basis of fact that we will select first sample randomly. It could be anyone. So in this list we will pick the third element member from the population. Every third member on the sequence will be picked from the population to represent the systematic sampling. This method is different from the simple randomly sampling. The third one is the third type of probability sampling, stratified sampling. Stratified sampling, a probability sampling procedure that divides sampling the population into groups or strata defined by the presence of certain characteristics like age may be based on geographical like north, south, east, west, may be male, female, and then randomly selected from each strata. Here we will again assume that we have the population and we divide the again population, entire population. Let's first divide different strata, and in this case we dividing based on male and female, like idle people and the three strata. Now we will select the sample. This is different three strata based on selecting one person from each strata at least. So this is the stratified sampling. Last one is the cluster sampling. This is the last type of probability sampling. Probability sampling that involves randomly selecting particular cluster of elements from a group of population and subsequently selecting every element of a selected cluster for the study. So in cluster sampling, researchers will divide the population in different groups called cluster. It could be groups of externally homogeneous but internally heterogeneous group. Let's assume that we have the population, which represents broad category of people of different age, sex, and profession. And if we apply the sampling technique, then we divide the entire population into different groups, which is externally homogeneous but internally heterogeneous. After define particular cluster, I will pick all the elements of that selected cluster to be included in this study. That's and thank you for listening.